What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. Today we're going to be taking on the zoo project, hence our outfit in our zoo stuff here. And as you can see, I've actually got a giant set of ears on, as well as I managed to get a fox cape as well, because we're going to be doing a fox enclosure. I found a mod that allowed you to add your own capes and your own ears, which was pretty cool. I'm sort of second guessing the ears because they look freaking ridiculous, but nevertheless, we are all ready to go and actually start working on this project today. It's not going to, obviously, not going to be a redstone-y one. I've put aside a bunch of materials here. I may probably need to come back and get some more. I'm not too sure. But I do know where I actually want to build it. Oh my god, are we going to be able to get there with 3 rockets? If we remember which freaking direction it's in. Over here. So what I was thinking is, because I also want to extend the pathway, the center one, the staircase that comes down, I actually want to bring this down here and bring it down further to the water, and then from the water have a little bridge that goes out and then like a little dockyard along here. But then I also want the enclosure to sort of be centered on a pathway that is going directly somewhere over here. So probably still wanted to go across further. So I'm thinking probably like around this area, like just as soon as we come into like the land, because we've got the snow foxes and normal foxes. I think having an enclosure to the left and enclosure, oh, that would be the left, this is the right, enclosure to the right and enclosure to the left, one for snowy foxes, one for normal foxes. And then if we have a little scout around, we can see that we've got our spider cave, which is just in this area here. Creepy spiders. And we've got the pathway just there. So if we bring the pathway that comes out here, and then we can sort of do a connection pathway that then branches off around here and rejoins onto here. Because that way we are sort of connecting up the paths a little bit more, and we've then got a pathway coming directly down from the main zoo building, rather than the staircase just sort of bookending right at the end here, which doesn't really make much sense. So yeah, extending the staircase a little bit more. I'll probably just do the standard stone staircase and maybe do some sort of rock reformation as it cuts through this section. We also got the main big map here that we need to be careful of, so I'm not going to be bringing down the whole polished stone staircase all the way down. Yeah, I'll probably think with that, but what I want to do first of all is obviously get an area. Have I got a bed? No, because that would have been the smart thing to do. I want to get an area here sort of cleared out. We are sort of lined up centre-ish. Like, it doesn't have to be bang on centre, so it's not the end of the world if it's not completely directly centered. Considering the pathway is meant to be a little bit sort of zigzaggy to make it look a little bit more natural, it's not overly important that it needs to be completely dead on center. What we are looking for is wool here, and our wood chest, which is, where are you? There. 4. Grab 3 of you. Grab 3 of you. And 1 of you. You. And you. And you. Happy days. So I'm going to end up having to sort of clear this area out a little bit, which isn't, honestly, it's not too bad. I actually enjoy sort of clearing the area like this. So I will need to actually throw down some chests, because I like collecting resources and not throwing stuff away. You know what would be the smart thing? Is considering that at the end of the project I'm going to end up having to do this anyway. That's exactly bang on. I may as well just start loading them directly into empty shulker boxes, like all of the random resources that we're going to be getting. That saves me the effort of afterwards having to go through all the chests and you know what, that's fine, you can stay there, and re-put all of the items that I've put in the chest into the shulker boxes at the end of the project. But enough of me rambling, because I've been talking way too much already. So I will catch you after I have cleared this. We're probably going to, actually, you know what, yeah, we're going to jump into a time lapse of me clearing this area and actually getting the enclosure built. And once I'm ready to actually start bringing the foxes over, because we've got some over its size base, which is in that direction over there. So it's just past the polar bear enclosure, which is that one just there. So it shouldn't be too bad. We've got a pathway that comes around from the cat enclosure and wraps around over there. So we can obviously walk them around, but I'm going to actually have to breed them up because she's got both normal foxes and snowy foxes over there already. So I will catch you back after the time lapse of me building the enclosure.
And the seal goes ow, ow, ow. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say? What the fox say? What the fox say? Hatty, hatty, hatty ho. Hatty, hatty, hatty ho. Hatty, hatty, hatty ho. What the fox say? What the fox say? Big blue eyes, pointy nose, chasing mice and digging holes. Tiny paws up the hill. Suddenly you're standing still. Your fur is red, so beautiful, like an angel.
Alright, so I've actually made some changes. There was something else I noticed as well. Whenever I'm firing rockets, the rocket trail is like switching between ores. Which, is that like an April Fool's thing? Because it is the 1st of April today. And I've not noticed it before. So, yeah, that's a little bit strange. It's also got ores that aren't even in the game. Like, I'm seeing purple ores and pink ores and that. So, some changes were made in between me finishing it and like the time-lapse footage. So, I've changed up the actual roof style. Initially, I did just have oak fences going across with some lanterns. But I wasn't really liking the way it was looking, so I swapped it out for this sort of pagoda roof, which is a similar style to the one I've got over here, but it's just much larger without the use of trapdoors. And then I've also done some block switching on the actual pathway just to make it look a little bit worn. So we've got some mossy stone bricks, some andesite, some cobblestone. And then in the water section we've changed up the logs. Instead of jungle we're using spruce with some trapdoors and some buttons just to add some more sort of structural integrity. And then because the water was looking very plain, I went around with bone meal, some small drip leaf, large drip leaf and lily pads, and I've just made the actual water area look a little bit more like vegetative, a little bit more alive, should we say. So they're the sort of changes that I made in between cuts, and great, we've got a bunch of pillagers. Oh my god. Right, and I've only got my axe on me. Right guys. Hello. And yes, all their textures are different because I'm using a couple of different texture packs that does that. Oh, come on. I've already got leather armor on. There we go. Awesome. So we've got an ominous bottle as well. So we want to go get the foxes. Now when I done some looking into foxes as to their habitats, where they live, where they sleep and whatnot, I did notice that all of them have, regardless if they're snowy or normal sort of urban foxes, they always create dens in order to sleep and obviously raise their littering. So what I've done is on either side I've done a staircase that leads down that's then got a little den area on each side where they can obviously go and sleep and whatnot. And then we've got berry bushes for them to obviously harvest and eat. And then over on this side we've got a couple of like fallen trees, one on this side, one on this side. This side's obviously for the normal variant, for their habitat being the normal sort of spruce tiger sort of environment. And then the snowy one is the snowy tiger, which is obviously got snow on the tree tops and on the floor with the snow blocks and a mixture of ice and snow. And we're lighting up using the glow lichen and some lanterns on the outskirts. But we need to go and get some foxes. Now I've been over at size base sort of breeding up the foxes. And do you know what's been really annoying? is that non-stop I've had the stupid song. I'm going to see if I can use it in the time-lapse footage, which if I could, you've probably heard it then. The stupid "What Does the Fox Say" song constantly in my head for like the past week while sort of building and sort of getting this enclosure sort of done. Oh god, we need to sort of purge in some of these animals over here. So we've got a whole bunch of foxes, baby ones and adult ones, so we just need 2 of each, and then I'm planning on breeding them whilst I'm over there. So what we are going to do is say, so we've got the jump boost over on this side. Let's go like so, and then we can just grab a couple of these foxes like so, and what I'm hoping to do is be able to just bring them up and out. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And then we can just like walk these all the way over to the enclosure, which is, where are you? Oh my god, it's quite a walk actually. So if we go across this water and then past the parrot, polar bear, pandas, through the farmstead, swinging left to the zoo building. This is going to be a long old walk, and I've got to do it. I'm going to do it twice rather, because I'm obviously going to have to put them in different enclosures. I don't want to have all 4 of them on the same sort of leash line, because I need to make sure they don't go, because if they disappear or if they break the leashes, then it's going to be an absolute nightmare trying to get them back, because they're just going to constantly run away. So yeah, I'm going to make this walk over with both of them, breed them up in their habitats, and once I've got enough of them, I'm thinking maybe like 6 or 7 of each in either side, just so that way you've got the odds of them going into their dens a little bit higher and sort of it just looking a little bit more populated. Not to mention, it's like, other than the mobs that we're bringing in to the zoo exhibits, there's not really much going on as far as animals. Like, as you can see on my mini map, it is primarily just ocelots around us. And obviously limiting the amount of them spawning isn't going to be a major concern for us. I also need to be careful walking these guys past the farmstead, because they will try to kill the chickens, which I need to be wary of. So yeah, I'll catch you back after I've got them all into place and bred up. So yeah, catch you back in a bit. Alright, so we've now got a bunch of babies. For some reason, I don't know why, these foxes have actually grown up. Some of them's grown up a lot quicker than the snowy ones. God, I hate the noises they make. But they do become more active at night, so what we're going to do is let these guys away. He's stolen the lead, which is fine. I'll let you guys run away as well. And we're just going to see if any of them sort of navigate to the dens underneath. None of them have so far, but the snowy foxes, the babies were all hovering around the parent. So yeah, as you can see, all the babies are now just following the parent around. So I think it's a case of whether or not when they grow up and they all sort of disperse, whether or not they're going to go in different directions. But as soon as like daytime comes around, they tend to go to sleep anyway. But whilst I was reading them, what I did go ahead and do is rockets, thank you, is I've cleared a little pathway going through to here, going up over to our other pathway, which joins on to, got the Ravager octagon over there, as well as the spider den, which is just there. So I'm going to do a pathway going around here, and this other bit of water, this little section over here, do not, oh, you suck so hard. Where's Max? And yes, all of the zombies and skellies look very different, because I'm testing out different texture packs in order to pick one that I want to use for our the other sort of side series on here, which is the Fallout sort of show series thing that I'm doing. So I was just checking out different texture packs for the skellies and zombies, and they look pretty good because they're sort of biome specific as well, which is pretty cool. But nevertheless, what I'm probably going to do with this water section, I'm probably just going to fill this in with dirt, plant some more jungle trees over on this area here, and then do a pathway going around over to there, because it's such a small section of water that it doesn't really warrant building another bridge, especially that we've got a bridge here. Otherwise this little enclosure is going to be cut off by water on either side and a bridge either side, which really we don't really want. Like this bridge over here was necessary because the portion of water here was pretty large, and I didn't want to get rid of this section of water because it was directly outside the front of the main zoo building. But nevertheless, that is our zoo enclosure now done and dusted. Oh, he almost went into one of the dens then. Oh look, there they are. And the babies have followed them down. So he should really go to sleep down there. Oh, no, he's going back up now. I was worried that they might be able to jump over the two highs, and I'm also worried that some of them might despawn. But I've got name tags on 2 sets of 2s of them. Oh, look, there's a fox. Just in case they do sort of despawn, but we shouldn't really have an issue with it, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's the enclosure done. Let's go and throw this stuff into here. All of this stuff needs to be thrown away. Well, not thrown away, but thrown into the system to be sorted. I have no idea what I've done with my tools either. Let me pack up my essentials boxes and find what I've done with my tools, because I have no idea where I've put them. Usually I put them in one of the black boxes, like, there we go. I was right. Okay, so I've got a dead bone there for some reason. That's weird. But yeah, they're my 2 carry boxes, and let me pick up all of my essential boxes. The ones that have to go into my ender chest. All of... oh crap, I've got one that isn't meant to be here. What is in here that shouldn't be? Oh no, the bones one doesn't have to be in here. Okay, so all of them ones are correct. I'm going to leave that here because I obviously need a bunch of these resources in order to carry on building the pathway going around and to fill that area in anyway. So I'll meet you back at base after I've taken some screenshots for a thumbnail, and we can spin the wheel to see what our next project's going to be. Home sweet home. Let's see what we're going to be working on. Oh my god. Shut up. Pain in the ass. I don't know what I fancy working on. Probably not another zoo project if it lands on one of them. We've still got an empty spot up there which we're going to have to fill in. What? You know what we haven't got? We haven't got, like, we made a budget one when we updated the server, the resin. So what we can do is, where we've got that empty spot, do resin farm. Let's go big. So like an industrial sort of scale resin farm. You're still spinning. You go there. Okay, so we're on 8. What have we got? Zoo, Rabbit Foot Farm, Zoo Randomizer, Ancient City Project, Exploding Fireworks, Cookies Farm. We're on 3. No! Yeah, we're not doing 2 zoo projects in a row, sorry. Well, sorry, not sorry, because I don't think you're going to want me to work on 2 zoo projects in a row. So we went through a period of having like no zoo projects come up on the randomizer for God knows how long. Like it was a good few months. To then having 2 like back to back. No, we're going to spin the wheel and just see what we get. And we're on 7. Okay. What have we got on here? No zoo randomizer. No fighting back. Cherry wood farm. Apocalypse area. Warden farm. New improved copper farm. Apocalypse area projects. And I don't even know what that top one is. It's another negative modifier. What are you? With Pet Parrot. Okay, wrong one. So whatever we're doing is no fighting back. Come on. So we're going to have to run away if any mobs spawn or anything. Either that or get Clowd or Sai with us in order to do the fighting for us. So yeah, let's see what's going to land on for our actual project. We're on 1. Okay. So your options: Zoo Randomizer, Apocalypse Zone, Zoo Randomizer. I've got 3 Zoo Randomizer. Wacky Cow Farm. Multi-Wood Tree Farm. Weeping Vine Farm. We're on 4. Multi-Tree Farm. You know what? That is actually desperately needed, to be honest with you. So that's not a bad thing. Like the multi-tree farm, that would be for the... I want to try to get it for the... Actually, no, we're probably going to have a different one for the cherry wood because that does grow very differently. The multi-tree farm will probably be for the acacia, birch, and oak, and single spruce. So we should be able to get 4 different wood variants from a multi-tree farm. But it's going to take a lot of tinkering around for me because it's been a while since I attempted any of them. But that is the zoo project done and out the way with. We need to go and throw these items back over into that box over there. You know what, let's go like no healing by eating. That sounds like a fun one to have, but whatever it is, the multi-tree farm, we're obviously not allowed to fight back during the entire episode and the duration of the project, so that's going to be fun. Luckily it wasn't working on, like, I still need to do the witch hut floor and the witch hut walls, but yeah, I'm sort of doing that little bit by a little bit, and I'm getting like replay footage. But whether or not I will do replay footage, like show you it, or if I'll just give you updates as to how far I've got with it. Tree farm is going to be in the Wild West area, which means, I think it also means I'm going to be stuck wearing this, because all of this is my wood armor. So would you look at that, storing wood, loggers, leapers, and yeah, so we're sticking with apparently leather armor again. I'm going to probably get rid of the ears. The ears may be a little bit too much, I'm thinking. Yeah, so we may switch over to something else. We're definitely going to switch over our cape and our cloak to something else, because yeah, I do like the fox on, but now that we've done the fox enclosure, that one can go. We get rid of the foxes because I think the ears are just a tad bit too much. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.